of my young people in further education got the educational maintenance allowance. And when they heard it was going, it was like a slap in the face to them. These are kids that are doing what everyone says they should do, don't get involved in gangs, go to school, work hard, and they got that money taken away. Now, the £180 million fund is going to replace the £560 million. You know, there's a huge gap. And not me, not a politician, but the Institute for Fiscal Studies has shown that the poorest sixth form students will be on average £370 a year worse off. We talk about cuts, but I'm talking about investment, and that was an important investment, and this government has slashed it vindictively.
Okay. Sarah Teather.
Well, to come back to Gladys's question, I think it will encourage young people to stay on in education. The problem with the EMA was that it was very badly
Education
targeted.
Maintenance
Allowance, the old scheme, was it was very badly targeted. Around half of 16 to 18-year-olds in education were in receipt of it. Now, that's clearly not good targeting. It's not true to say that half of all young people face that kind of financial barrier. It's much more sensible to make sure we can target this best on those young people who really need it. So the new scheme will mean there's more money available for those youngsters who are most vulnerable, particularly those who are leaving care, for example, who have real difficulties and challenges in staying on in education. So they will actually get more money than they would have done under the EMA. And the new scheme will be discretionary for colleges and for schools to make sure that they can target money in the most appropriate way.
So it's better, you'll say cheaper but better.
I think it's much better targeted. It will focus on things like transport, on books. Well, I mean...
Go on then, say why.
As Diane Abbott said, poorer students will be £370 worse off every year. That's if they get it. From my understanding, it's only a small proportion that will receive support with this new scheme. I myself, I can proudly say that I received EMA. I'm from Newham, and it really helped me. It helped me when I was at college, and I really needed it. And I was with my group of friends, they also received it, and it really helped us. And it wasn't spent on alcohol and booze, alcohol and partying. It was actually spent on travel, books, and without it,
I absolutely agree with you. For lots of young people, this money is an absolute lifeline, and particularly, actually, not in London, out of London, particularly on travel, where they don't get travel free.
Would you have got it, do you think, under the new arrangements?
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not.
Because?
Because I wouldn't fit the criteria that...
Well, this is discretionary, so it's up to schools where to be able to target this on those young people who need that money. But there's enough to give every young person who is on free school meals £800.
No.
And I don't actually recognise the IFS's figures here. We're not quite sure how they've calculated that, because we don't think that they're correct.
All right, the woman here in the front. All right, the woman in red here.
I totally disagree with paying students any amounts of money. When I went to university, I had a part-time job. And I had to fund my own university. And I think that there is jobs. People are just too fussy about what they want to do. And I think £180 million could be better spent in the NHS or on the police force on something more resourceful.
OK.
I had a job when I was studying, both at college and university. I had jobs throughout. The EMA really helped me because books are expensive. Travel is so expensive. And for me, I fear for future poorer generations, because it feels like if you don't come from a privileged background, you won't, after the age of 18, you may not be in education.
Again, I totally disagree. I have all the students that I went to university with, we all had part-time jobs. We wasn't given money from the government just because...
I had a part-time job as well. Yeah, but what I'm saying is books are very expensive. Travel increases every single year.
But that's why we have a library. You go to the library if you don't want to buy a book. You go to the
They're closing the libraries. They're closing the libraries. Local libraries are being closed.
Yeah, but they're being closed. They're not closed right now, are they? I think the problem is people are too fussy in the jobs that they want to do. They don't want to work in
that's rubbish.
Fast food places.
Totally
they don't want to work because they feel it's
that's
beneath
rubbish.
them.
OK, Clive Anderson.
Well, this is a very interesting discussion. I thought the government had executed a U-turn on this. They're good at those. They do more U-turns than a dodgy minicab driver, and I was partially agree with the idea of maybe targeting the money, but the figures look, as if you're cutting back, it does look like a false economy, because money spent on getting people to stay in education is going to is going to assist. I'm looking at you, of course, you're the minister, but is going to benefit the whole country in the future.
Absolutely. That's why there's a fund.